trying to figure out what you all are like in the matrix. A virus. And I told you that the word Nosferatu, which they, Eddie Murphy played their vampire Nosferatu, was called plague carrier. This particular virus is nothing but some entities inside of the body that is going to, because they have used the body as a host. Remember the movie X-Files? These things are in the bodies. These things are in the bodies. They're going to replace man, using man as the host. You get where I'm coming from? This is this particular plague-carrying disease inside of us, which in actuality is a divine revelation. That's what the melanin is. So on one form of evolution, this melanin helps sustain the body because it knows that it has thousands of millennia to cook itself to the right process. You see? Where it can have enough energy to manifest as the divine entity that it is. So it sustains the body. And once it gets to the right element that it is ready to be reborn into this new Jerusalem, it starts to destroy the body. It's like a bird cracking open the egg to get out. You understand where I'm coming from? It's like a bird cracking open the egg to get out. You see the concept? So now, ultimately, the concept is one thing that retards this thing and deters this thing is your love for life and the concept of your daily life and all your little things here. You see what I'm saying? Retards this particular process because still yet your brain has enough power to dictate to the physical body what it wants done. You see what I'm coming from? So one of the keys here is the more and more, even the Bible tells you, the more and more you hate this particular world. You see what I'm saying? The more and more you hate this particular world, the more and more you gain to, be in the world, not of the world. Those person who love the world shall surely lose it. Those people who hate the world shall gain the kingdom of heaven. So one of the keys is, remember back in the Kabbalistic text, by, what's your boy, McGregor Mather's book, Kabbalah, not McGregor Mather's, A.E. Waite's The Holy Kabbalah. One of the keys is that it says that the European is down here and he is the intruder because what does he do? He calls this luxury. He calls this luxury. Now, pretty much most people here, you probably can get on top of the whole materialism thing because you basically understood you keep buying and it never brings you happiness. But one of the things you cannot get on top of is what staring you in the face is death. Now in the Gospel of Thomas, he said that basically heaven is all around you, but you can't see it because you were spiritually drunk. But on one of the other hands, it's also talking about death. You see, talking about death. So we're not talking about the type of death where you just gotta all go and just drink some the grateful Kool-Aid. We're not talking about a cult type affiliation where you go out and kill yourself to get to the kingdom of heaven. What we're talking about here is a process of death that is already happening inside of your body. Inside of your body. A process of death is happening inside of your body. Now, why is this? We're talking about nothing but going to another level of evolution for the simple doggone fact that we understand that every doggone day that based on the world around us, you must get in your mind over and over again that you shouldn't look for nothing at this particular time. And we're talking about the process of wanting to die. So the fear is to take death and turn it into something to look forward to. Nobody's talking about this kind of shit right now. You see what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna get no motherfucker telling you it's all about death and you need to kill yourself. I'm not talking about kill yourself. I'm talking about a metaphysical process of what you call death. You understand what I'm saying? It's actually life. You heard me talk about this particular thing again. So, going back to this particular thing, the Egyptians were anti-cosmos because they understood that in actuality, that ain't nothing but a bunch of astral planes. And that's why the doggone, if you notice, that's why the actual government is giving you all the UFO things as far as everything based on the star, the whole spacecraft thing based on Star Trek and all this kind of shit here, and that type of extraterrestrial invasions. Now, you got the New Age thing talking about this ascension bullshit. Ascension. We trying to ascend. You understand what I'm saying? When there's nothing to ascend to. So everybody's trying to get off the damn planet with this whole ascension thing. You see what I'm saying? All that's a part of, all that is a part of the trick. Now, do you remember the passage that I was telling you the last time that God said, I am the God of the living but not the dead? Was it Matthew 22? 31 women. Okay, Matthew chapter 22, verse 31, 32. Matthew chapter 22, verse 31, 32. They say he is the God of the living because in actuality, he only exists within the human brain. That is the only way that they exist. So we're talking about these seraphim. And these particular seraphim, you call them archangels, are angels of light. But these particular angles is nothing but the different angles of the human brain. It's nothing but another room or another portion of the matrix. So this God says, I am the God of the living and not the dead. What's it? Matthew
22, 31, 32.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 31, 32, because I got shit from a Christian song one day. And I said, oh shit, but I knew it was in the Bible. And I kept getting in the Bible, in the concordance, the living God, the living God, the living God. But the actual chapter is that one in Matthew. He is the living God because he's only based on the brain. The other God is the God of the dead. So Osiris and them, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Sumerians, the Babylonians, and all of your ancient ones, and including your Urubas, they dealt with the gods of the dead. That's the difference. They dealt with the gods of the dead. Now, this also bears witness to the African practice of the ancestors. The ancestors. That's because everything was based on the ancestors, because they knew that the ancestors was a different class of gods other than the so-called seraphim. They understood that the ancestors was the cherubim. Now what's the difference between the seraphim and the cherubim? The difference between the seraphim and the cherubim, the asuras and the devas. We are the asuras, we are the cherubims, we are the titans. The difference between those is they're separated. The ones who came into physical bodies became the cherubims, the fallen ones. We talked about this before. The ones that never had the physical bodies are the seraphim. Those are the lesser entities. It takes the physical body to become this new seed. Because some person say, well, because I hear this all the time, well, what's going to happen when we rise up again? And that, the Nation of Islam used to say that. We're rising up again. We're rising up never to fall again. What's going to happen? The difference is the seed that is inside of us. That seed that is inside of us over the course of 13 billion years. It is putrefied into a new crystallized entity higher than the seed it was before it took on the fall, or before it went to sleep and the younger gods came into beings. The younger gods came into beings. You see what I'm saying? So this particular seed, those particular ones that didn't come into the physical body and didn't fall, do not have the energy to go into the next realm, which is also the realm of the dead. Now it's interesting because I told you that in the Upanishads it says in the beginning there was death. So we're trying now, the Upanishads tell you in the beginning there was death. So you ever heard it? In the beginning there was chaos. But Richard can't tell you that melanin is nothing but chaos. The Upanishads tell you that in the beginning there was death. You see what I'm saying? So that means that melanin is death in the body. What do you say? What this shit is crazy. How could this shit be death in the body? It is death of a pre-human ancestor that now is in the physical body. When it came into the newly physical body, it became a dead substance as far as it is death in the physical body, or it is death in this particular dimension, what you call this particular universe, which is the day side, or what is called the solar side. But that which is dead is just lying. It is something that was from a prior world, which in actuality will be the future when it regenerates.